Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to work on a project for a client that has to do with building one of these plaques for a deer mount, so stay tuned. So this is a plaque that I made previously, but it is too small for the mount. And what I ended up doing is taking the mount, and we traced a outline of what the actual deer body is, and then out from that I created a new outline. What I'll be using for this mount is white ash, and I'll trace the outline and I'll cut that out on a bandsaw. And because ash is a little finicky wood, it tends to chip out a lot. We're going to do our final finishing with a drum sander. For the profile, I'll be using a Roman OG bit, and what I'll do is I'll start and keep my final cut away from the, I'll keep my preliminary cut away from the bearing, and then on my final cut I'll sneak up to the bearing and cut through much faster to try to minimize any burn marks. So I've drawn a line here which will be my center line for a slot that will be cut, so you can hang this from the wall. I'm going to start with a straight bit first to cut a slot, and then I'm going to install a dovetail, and that'll be back cut a little bit in order to create a little bit of a lip to catch the head of a nail. The stain I'm using is by Minwax, Early American 230. I don't even know if they make this color anymore. because I've had it quite a long time. But this will be applied and wiped off. Thing with ash, it's a pretty dense wood, so it's not going to absorb a lot of stain. But what is going on with ash right now, and you can see it right here, it's a little wormhole because ash is under attack by the emerald ash borer, and that gets under the bark. They lay eggs. Pupae hatches and they start boring holes all through the wood. So it can be very difficult when you're building a project if you have any of that kind of damage. You're going to spend some time probably filling in those holes, which isn't going to be a big deal if you're painting something, but if you want it to be a really nice project, you probably want to try to get some ash that has been put through a kiln or some other fumigation process to make sure that all of those little worms have been killed. So we're going to let that dry and we'll come back and give it the first coat of finish. I just decided I want to go a little bit darker, and so I'm going to now be applying some special walnut, and this won't soak in much since we already have one coat, but the outside edge, that's what's going to be exposed, so we'll give that a little darker treatment. Give that a white. Okay, so the stain has dried overnight. Now it's time to add some urethane. First coat is dried. It was lightly sanded. Now we'll give it a second coat. This was the pattern I drew up earlier that shows the outline of the actual shoulder mount for the deer, and that entire area is backed with plywood. So I've marked some areas where I'll be drilling 4 holes, and that will allow the mounting of the plaque to the back of the deer. Well, thanks for being with me in the shop today as we did this plaque project. If you've liked it and want to see more videos of things I'm up to, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button down there, and you'll be sure to catch the next video. Thanks again for watching.